Well, hello everyone. Thank you for joining me for the basics of essential oil usage. We're going to run a quick webinar here together tonight that is intended to help you grow in your confidence in using your essential oils. So real quickly, we're going to discuss how to choose high quality essential oils. Now, I know that if you're listening to this, that there's a high probability that you've already made your choice, but we're going to run through some of the reasons why you may have chosen what you did, or maybe some of the things that you really didn't know about them that are going to make you really glad that you chose why you did. And then we're going to talk about, just real quickly, how to use them. And then for those of you who have questions about how to confidently be able to talk about them with other people, you want to be able to know how to tell your friends and family how to use them too, then we're also going to quickly talk about that. Okay, so let's start from the beginning of how to choose high quality essential oils. Okay, the ways that we want to think about choosing a high quality essential oil, we want our oils to be able to deliver on the promise that they're making time and time again. And so consistency and potency and efficacy, all of these things matter, all right? And you're going to get the results that you're looking for from an oil based on how they are produced. Now, I want to caution you not to be tempted to pull an essential oil from a grocery store shelf or even to buy something online from a place like Amazon, even if you think that you're familiar with the label from somewhere like Amazon or on a grocery store shelf. I have seen oils that I would have thought that I would have bought online from my supplier at places like TJ Maxx. And you know what? The lids didn't match. So what does that tell you about that essential oil? That even the label coming from a place like that is not something that should be trusted. It may be very convenient, but unless you have researched the company that your oils are coming from, you absolutely have no way of verifying its purity, its potency, its effectiveness, and in fact, there's a high probability that it has been adulterated with either a synthetic copycat or that it's really not an essential oil at all. So I'm going to really quickly walk you through 4 steps for determining a pure therapeutic grade essential oil, and we'll talk about that and maybe even see if you have used those things to determine why you decided on the oils that you decided on. All right, so the first thing that I want you to do is I just want you to decide what your needs are. Okay, why are you even looking into using essential oils in the first place? Are you wanting them for things like baking or cooking or home fragrance, for DIY, beauty products or health products, health supplements, everyday emergency? For my family, essential oils are part of our healthcare regimen. We prefer to use a pure therapeutic grade of essential oils. That way we feel safe with them and we know that we're going to get the desired result from them that we're looking for time and time again for that particular issue. Now, it's important to understand the grades of essential oils. Some essential oils are indeed synthetic. Now, here's what this means. If an essential oil is synthetic, it means that it has been created in a lab to mimic something that's been naturally occurring. Now, here's the thing with that is that, for example, something like lavender oil, right, is something that is so chemically complex that someone in a lab can pull out parts of those chemical constituents, maybe that identify with the smell or that identify with certain, parts of its chemistry. However, it is legitimately impossible to 100% wholly mimic something that has been designed by God in nature. And so anytime you are only pulling out parts of a chemical makeup of an essential oil, you are not going to be able to actually accomplish its full therapeutic ability. Now, another grade of essential oil is essential oils that have been adulterated. This means that they have been tainted or corrupted or messed with. Things have been added to them to try to maybe dilute them or spread them, to make them last longer. And so that's what an adulterated essential oil is. You also will have food grade essential oils. However, this does not mean that they are safe to be consumed or that they should be used as a dietary supplement. So make sure you check your label very closely. Then there are certified pure therapeutic grade essential oils. Now, here's the thing with these oils, guys. There is no governing body to really standardize this claim, all right? But quality is a really big deal. So you want to do your due diligence and research the company that you intend to use and the reputation that it has. When I was researching what essential oils that I would use, quality control was a big deal to me. How the way that they tested for purity. What was this company about, right? Where did their oils come from? How were they tested? Where were they harvested? And how were they distilled? The thing is that most companies don't disclose their testing or even perform testing at all. And if an essential oil's purity is its most important characteristic, then these things are going to be a really big deal. Without these things, you run the risk of putting germs, heavy metals, or adulterants into your body, and those types of things can provoke irritation, adverse effects, and illness. So it's very important for you to know where your oils are coming from. Now, let's jump to how to use these essential oils. Guys, I have at least 100 essential oils in my home. There's still only 3 different ways to use them. No matter how many oils I have in my home, they come from one place so that I know that they're trusted, but there's still only 3 different ways to use them, all right? And it's this: they can be used aromatically, topically, and internally. Now, I'm going to share with you some of my experiences. However, the things I'm going to share with you include these uses, but they are not limited to. They are literally just the things that I am most familiar with and find myself kind of leaning towards when it comes to how I use my oils in our home. So when we're using oils aromatically, again, these uses are including but not limited to using them for mood management. Using oils aromatically for mood management is an extremely effective way to help them accomplish that purpose for emotions and mood support. When I use them aromatically, it could be that I'm just putting them in my hand, or it could be that I'm putting them in the diffuser or on some diffuser jewelry. But the point is that I'm breathing them in so that they are being put to use by my limbic system, okay? So mood management, respiratory support, all right, obviously when we breathe things in through our mouth and nose, they do serve our lungs and our respiratory system. And then also for immune support. If I am dealing with issues that cause me to need added immune support, I diffuse at night while I'm sleeping because my body is getting that immune support while I sleep through breathing them in. The next type of usage that I'm going to talk about is topical support. Topical literally means that we're putting them on our bodies, on our skin. Now, when it comes to babies and kids, you can literally apply everything to the bottom of their feet. When in doubt, just put it on the bottom of their feet and rub their feet together. When it comes to kids or babies as well, you can also apply things to just a troubled area. Do they have a tummy ache? Rub the oils on their tummy. Do they have sore muscles? Rub them on that sore muscle for like growing pains and things like that. So when it comes to kids and babies, you also want to be careful to dilute them to start with. Now, right now, as I'm speaking, my son is sitting in the room with me doing homework and he's having trouble focusing at first. And so I put rosemary and tangerine on the back of his neck without diluting whatsoever. I'm not afraid to use neat oils. Neat means they're not diluted on my kids. But I've also been using them for almost a decade. We're well over 8 years now, okay? And so I have enough experience to know what kid can handle what and what's most effective. What I'm going to encourage you to do is start with this dilution chart, okay? Go by the information that is on this chart and then go from there. Grow from there. It's always best and safest to start small and then add more until you know how it's going to affect the person that is using them. When it comes to adults, especially if we're talking about like muscle and joint support, using essential oils topically with a carrier oil is going to help that oil soak into the muscle and go really far. You can use them on scrapes, cuts, skin issues for your skin care. Again, use them with a carrier oil in that case so that it helps to kind of anchor the essential oil into your skin. If you are having areas of concern, like maybe you need kidney support, liver support, lung support, tummy support, digestive support, right? Specific areas of concern mean that you can use that essential oil specifically on that area of concern. Moving on to internal usage. Anytime that I need digestive support, I'm using oils internally. Anytime I need respiratory support, I'm using oils internally. This is because they get into my blood supply more quickly that way, and then can go to serve and support my respiratory system depending on what it's dealing with. Sinus function, right? Organ function, any of those things going on, I'm using essential oils internally. You can put them in water and drink them. You can use them sublingually, which means you're dropping them under your tongue. For example, using 2 drops of frankincense under your tongue in the morning is very good preventative habits for trying to prevent cellular disruption in your body. All right, read between the lines there. It's also great for helping to support cognitive function. So people that deal with sad feelings, people that deal with anxious feelings, things like copaiba and frankincense under your tongue every morning is a great daily habit regimen for helping to support these areas of our lives. And then, of course, you can also put these things into a veggie cap. If my sinuses need additional support, if I'm feeling stuffy or clogged up, then I am going to put oils in a veggie capsule and take these every 2 to 3 hours while the symptoms are at their worst, usually for at least a couple days. I personally will put anywhere from 4 to 8 drops of essential oil in that capsule as I am using them for this reason. Now, we've already talked about the dilution and usage chart. I want to reemphasize one more time that this is a starting point. It's a very conservative starting point. When I had a newborn with oils, we had just been given the Touchline and she was having some tummy troubles. And so I learned that putting a base of coconut oil over her belly before rubbing the Touchline, the Digestin Touchline over her belly, was exactly what she needed to be able to have that type of support. However, when it comes to having babies that are breastfeeding, if mama will take the oils internally, then that baby is going to use mama as a filter and then get the support that they need through her breast milk. When it comes to my kids, if we're dealing with fevers or things like that, or any type of thing that they need added immune support, I'm going to roll my kids' spine and feet hourly. And for a fever, I'll roll their spine with peppermint every 15 to 30 minutes. Those are the most basic things that anyone needs to know when it comes to how to confidently use their essential oils. Aside from that, I want to encourage you to get your hands on your favorite book. I have 2 favorite books that I love to reference. Believe it or not, I don't know everything there is to know about essential oil usage, but a lot of people think I do because I got really good at referencing my books. So I love 2 books in particular. One is called The Essential Life, and one is called Advanced Oil Magic. Essential Life can be found, you might actually have to Google it because I know that it used to be found at Aromatools, but I don't know if it's still there anymore. However, Advanced Oil Magic can be found at youroiltools.com. All right. Let's switch gears now for just a second because I'm telling you, I just talked for 14 minutes, but literally with a book and your box of oil supplies, you are now equipped to handle up to 80% of the everyday issues that come up in your home based on the information that I just gave you. Of course, I'm always up for questions, and you know where to find me if you have questions about that. But we're going to switch gears right now and take just a few minutes to talk with you about now how to confidently share. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but the thing is that I have talked to so many people that love their oils and that want to know how to be able to help other people. And so what they do is they bring them to me, and I'm happy to help. But you literally are just as equipped as I am to be able to share how to use these essential oils with someone else. The only difference between you and me is that I spent some time getting really confident in what to say before it was time for me to say it. I actually practiced some scripts. And so I'm going to share those with you right now. When it comes to somebody talking about any kind of health concerns, wellness concerns, things that they feel like they need some added support on, I simply ask a very non-confrontational, easy conversational question. Have you ever considered trying essential oils? It was literally that simple. It's just such a simple question. Let's try it again. Have you ever considered trying essential oils? And there you go. You wait for their answer, right? It's just that easy. That is literally the most simple lead in to when you are wanting to share the gift of essential oils with someone else. After you've asked them that question, share your story. You have a story, you have a reason, you have something that has happened in your life that has caused you to love your oils enough to want to share them. So ask them, have you ever considered trying essential oils? And then share your story. As you're engaging them in this conversation, you can ask them, would you like me to tell you more about it? And then this is exactly what I say every single time. Depending on if they give me an affirmative response, I tell them, usually what I do is I set up a time to sit down with somebody. We can meet for lunch or coffee, and I kind of help them get their questions answered. I can bring my book, or I can bring some samples along. I can tell you a little bit about the ways that I get my oils. My part takes about 15 minutes, and there's literally no pressure to buy anything. But if you see something or you hear about something that you want, I can show you how I get mine, and I can show you the smartest way to get them. Guys, it's that simple. So then at that point, if they say yes and it's something they want to do, they're expecting an essential oil conversation. They're expecting you to tell them what you've done and exactly how they can get in on this same great stuff. All right. Now, before you meet them for that appointment, ask them if they want to try something before you meet up and get them a sample ahead of time. Because if they have had their own experiences, they're going to come to that meeting excited and ready to get involved and ready to know more. I'll tell them, I'm going to bring my favorite book or two along, and if we can't find something there, then I'm a part of a great online community where we can ask. Now, I often am aware of the fact that when I teach somebody to tell another person, usually what I do is set up a time to sit down and I'm going to help you answer your questions. That starts to freak you out a little bit, right? Because you're like, what if I can't answer your questions? Let me help to reaffirm this for you. No one expects you to have all the answers. You are an expert to the person coming behind you, but they by no means expect you to have all the answers, okay? So please feel free and encouraged and confident to tell them, I'm going to bring my book along, and if we can't find what you're looking for, then let's go together and ask somebody else. I'm a part of a great online community where we can ask this. All right? Guys, invite them to start with 1 to 3 things. There's no doubt in my mind that they're going to have a laundry list of questions and things that they are going to want to tackle, but you can lead them well by simply asking them, if there were 2 or 3 things that you would like to see improved in the life of you or someone in your family with essential oils, what would they be? It's such a great starting place. And then you can go from there by searching together in your book. Now, I want to emphasize and re-emphasize something in closing here as strongly as I can. So listen, this is a big deal, all right? Don't miss this. Do not order for them on your LRP, okay? Don't even offer it as an option. Now, listen, in the same breath, I want to encourage you to obviously use your judgment. But here's the thing, do not sell them short, okay? My 80-some-year-old grandmother who is never going to be able to use a computer or place her own order, obviously, I'm going to get her skincare for her, okay? But Guys, do not just automatically say, oh, I'm just going to add something to my order for you. You are selling them short. When you do this, you take away their power. Okay? There's a system in place with us that's helping to lead people to empowered lifestyles of self-directed wellness. We want them to be empowered and to grow and to learn. Okay? Guys, this is not Pampered Chef. Okay? Help plug them in to a community that will help them grow. And do not sell them short by not connecting them to the available resources that come along as part of the perks of their wholesale membership. Okay? All right, so what questions do you have? All right, have I left anything out? As far as I can tell, you are now equipped to know how to use your oils and how to tell other people how to do them too. So use your books, use the ebooks available online and webinars as well when you need to know what to use, okay? But you know the basics now of how to use them. Now, I am always open and excited to answer your questions and to add to things like this. But in order for me to know what's missing, I need your feedback to let me know. So do me a favor, help me out. And after you've listened to this, any questions that have come to mind, I hope you'll reach out and let me know. Otherwise, stay tuned for other upcoming webinars about how to continue to grow in your essential oil journey.